Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Atlantic Council Chairman, Mr. John F. W. Rogers.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I could ask you to take your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, if I could ask you to take your seats, and we'll begin tonight's program. Ladies and gentlemen, excellencies, and friends, on behalf of the board of the Atlantic Council, and on behalf of my partner, David McCormick, who's the chair of our international advisors, and all the board, we want to welcome you here to the 2019 Distinguished Leadership Awards. Now, standing before you this evening, I don't need to tell you that together, the United States, Europe, and our allies and friends worldwide face one of the most volatile geopolitical environments in recent memory. And seldom has that world been so acutely in need of the kind of authentic and effective leadership we celebrate here tonight. And with that in mind, as we recognize the accomplishments of outstanding efforts and individuals, we hope to advance a far more ambitious form of leadership that is equal to the challenges that we collectively face. Braced in principle and nimble in the face of ongoing challenges and change. And at the very heart of this vast change stands the Atlantic Council. Now, against that backdrop, for the first time in the Atlantic Council's history, we are recognizing an international organization, NATO, for its extraordinary contribution towards promoting global peace and stability. And I want to thank that we have here today Rose Guttemiller, who's the Deputy Secretary General of NATO, for joining us to accept the award on behalf of a truly deserving and pretty extraordinary organization. We are also gathered, this illustrious audience here tonight in Washington, to celebrate an individual who exemplifies the leadership and the vision and the character needed to navigate these turbulent times. He was raised by his mother and his uncles with the early passing of his father. He was crippled by bone disease as a small boy, but he regained his health by the age of 10, and he went on to become a pilot by the age of 15, an athlete, a decorated Marine, a Vietnam veteran. He wrote a paper for an economics class while attending Yale, outlining overnight delivery service in a computer information age, and the rest, of course, is history. And today, as chairman and CEO of an organization that we use every day as a verb, FedEx, Frederick Smith is someone who we're going to celebrate tonight, his entrepreneurial spirit and his transformational leadership. But I also want to note with Fred his positive corporate culture that he's inspired throughout his years of leading this enterprise. That's 450,000 teammates that he's assembled in 220 countries. And that's an enormous accomplishment. So we're grateful to have him here with us tonight. Now, we honor as well individuals who, in an era that increasingly looks to the role models of women and girls, stand out by any measure is who we're going to talk about tonight. In fact, I was thinking about how best to introduce them. And I was transported to an exhibition that I saw a few years ago in the docks of Edinburgh, Scotland, where it was unveiled a warship that was done to celebrate the role of British women in the First World War. It offered a contemporary take on a strategy that developed by military model makers and camouflage experts, so many of them who were women themselves. And they were to paint warships with bold optical designs to confuse the enemy. Now, this technique, the dazzle technique, as it came to be known, reached its peak at the end of the war with some 2,000 warships that had been ordained with vibrant patterns to mask their size, their speed, and the direction of their travel. And what was especially striking about this exhibit, however, is what was less apparent, perhaps more telling, and certainly more powerful. Because across this 239-foot vessel was painted in reflective paint and encrypted in Morse code, "Every woman a signal tower." And what's more, in creative and symbolic use of the medium and context, the Morse code dashes and dots, they were completely gray by day. They barely registered on the surface against the sunlight and the bright overall design. However, at night, the message, "Every woman a signal tower," was activated by the reflective paint, poignantly but powerfully recognizing women's invaluable role in that great undertaking, and holding themselves up as beacons of hope, of resiliency, and single-minded resolve. Now, tonight, we too will motivate and we will activate that same message, "Every woman a signal tower." We will ignite the beacons of hope and resiliency and resolve, and we're talking about two of our honorees who in their own right are signal towers of resonance and of results and resolve. We honor this evening Madame Christine Lagarde, the Managing Director of the International Monetary Fund. Her steadfast, resourceful, and principled leadership in a time of volatility, her commitment to providing opportunity through economic reform, and her unwavering support for gender equality. And we at the Atlantic Council are especially proud to present our rarely bestowed Distinguished Service Award to a true force of nature, a visionary business leader, a generous philanthropist, and most importantly, a comrade in arms, Adrienne Arsht. Adrienne is the Executive Vice Chairman of the Council. She's an integral part of the Atlantic Council family and our board leadership. Now, her passion for this council and its mission is infectious, and her dedication to her cause is unwavering. Her leadership has enabled the Council to expand its geographic reach to Latin America, and her out-of-the-box thinking equipped the Council to launch a world-class resilience center. So you'll hear more about these beautiful women later today. But I want to offer my congratulations to all of them. And rather than hearing my poor words, let's get on with our program tonight and honor these wonderful people. Thank you very much.